Hey everybody, Hostron here with another First Edition Friday video. Let's take a look at what we're playing today.
We'll just have to see how ready you are.
Welcome to the headquarters of the Cardassian Liberation Front.
Where is the vault? Do you understand me?
Yes, the Cardassian Revolution is afoot. And not only is it going to be a Cardassian Revolution, but Q's going to help. And the Ferengi are going to finance it with their gold, and the opponent's going to have to push through a lot of dilemmas that are coming out of the Dyson Sphere. And hey, let's use this new card too, because we're having fun. So the new Battle Bridge Door Auxiliary Control is going to be part of the deck too. And before we get to the rest of the deck, let's just go ahead and take a look at that first. So this is a card that just came out here a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. It has the new protection icon, which means that it is immune to cards which close doorways. It is a version of the Battle Bridge Door, so you cannot have this and a Battle Bridge Door. You have to choose either the original Battle Bridge Door or this auxiliary control version. But this one is that it seeds on and opens a Battle Bridge side deck. You must have at least 13 tactic cards, and all tactic cards in this side deck must be different. You may download Emergency Evacuation or make it so. So this is really good because you can get a free Make It So. So if you're playing with a deck that wants to see to Make It So, you have the option to decide that you want to play with this Battle Bridge Door instead, so that you're essentially getting this side deck for free. And since Make It So and the Battle Bridge work so well together, it's very enticing to do so. But it does come with the price tag of you have to be playing with at least 13 tactics, and they all have to be different. No matter how many you play, they all have to be different. So you just don't have reliability. So what you're giving up in reliability, you're getting in unpredictability. I mean, your opponent doesn't know what you're going to do. And you also get a free emergency evac, or you get a free Make It So. When your ship or facility battles, you may draw up to 3 cards from here, so that's one more than the original Battle Bridge is going to give you. And then you simply discard the others, and when they're discarded, they're placed on top of here. And then once you have to draw tactics for any reason, then they all shuffle back underneath. They also are all going to shuffle when you go to download. When you download, you get to search the entire thing, and that means searching all cards that were in that deck or are legitimately in that deck. Whenever an amount of damage to an opponent's card is not stated, it defaults to double flips, and if you score a direct hit, it gets the standard 4 flips, the original 2 plus the direct hit 2. When any tactic card leaves play, place them face up here only when the side deck is empty. Shuffle to replenish it. So that's what you're getting. So what we're going to do is we're going to play with 13 tactics. We're playing with 13 cards in our Q's 10th side deck. We're playing a Q Flash of 13 cards. As I said, we have our Battle Bridge deck of 13 cards, and we have our 13 card Dyson Sphere. So it's Cardassian's Lucky 13. Or, because we're playing with Revolutionaries, I thought it'd be kind of fun thematically. The 13 states of the Cardassian Revolution. For my non-American friends, that's simply a reference to the original 13 U.S. colonies during the American Revolution. So, all right. So the actual deck itself. Now, very recently, Michael Van Bremen played a version of this kind of Cardassian Dissident deck. I just kind of started with his deck just to make life simpler for myself. And then I just simply made changes as I saw fit for things that I think are better, things that I think are more interesting, but then also a lot of stuff that I changed for the thematicness of what we're doing today. So he only had 6 seed cards while we're doing 8. We're dropping down to 22 dilemmas, but even though we have 22 dilemmas that are seeding, a lot of them download out of the dilemma side deck, the Dyson Sphere Door, such as Shore Leave and the Pawns of the Military. And so we do have some options for downloading dilemmas that kind of extend the number of dilemmas out. Given the fact that we have the Shore Leave and the Pawns of the Military, we have up to 6 additional dilemmas, since you can kind of say that the first one is replacing the original. We're kind of basically getting up to about 25 dilemmas then. Your opponent can technically, face up to 28 dilemmas, but realistically that's not the case. But then we further extend that with the Q's Flash. So when the opponent faces Quality Time, which I guess is technically a download, but it is that's a true 1-for-1 replacement. The Quality Time is just becoming a Q. But when they face a Q Flash, they're getting a whole bunch of additional cards coming out of the Flash. And so realistically, a lot of our dilemma combos we have a dilemma combo of 2 here, but then we have 4s everywhere else, and everywhere that there is a download, and everywhere that there is a Q Flash, that's getting extended out for the number of things that our opponent has to get through. So it is going to be the whole idea is it's going to be quite the slog for the opponent. So this is week 2 of us exploring this sort of dilemma castle kind of methodology. I hope you guys enjoyed the video from last week with the 24 dilemma Borg, and now we're doing it with Cardassian Revolutionaries. Part of the reason why I wanted to do this is because I'd already had it in my mind that I wanted to do, like another deck that was seeding a lot of dilemmas, and then it just so happened that, that Michael played this deck, and I was basically like, oh, well, there you go. There's a deck that can function adequately on just a very few number of seed cards, so let's go with that. It's not Federation. I wanted to get away from Feds as well here for a little while too, kind of look at some other things. So this is the deck. The link will be posted in the video description. Please like and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. I hope you guys continue to enjoy my videos, and I hope that you're enjoying these new openings that I do for these videos. So let's actually go ahead and get to some gameplay. All right. So we have a game set up here. We're playing against this TNG anthropology type deck. That deck, I've fast forwarded it to the end of its turn 3. And when it gets to its turn, we'll have it do its turn 4. But we will play out our side of the table. The way the missions came out, each deck just kind of wants to play in its own little sandbox. This Liberation deck definitely wants to play in its own sandbox because it has ships with terrible range. It also is just relying on its dilemmas to slow the opponent down, so we are okay with our opponent having their missions bunched. So when missions are kind of seated with this deck, you just kind of want to go down the line, and you only want to interweave if the opponent is forcing it. You guys can refer to the deck list, as I said before, but this is kind of what we're looking at, the Q's tent. And then the battle bridge and everything is also shown in the deck list. You can refer back to that. So we'll go ahead and shuffle here each of these things. Dyson Sphere is just there for us to download out of. Same way with the Q's tent. We'll shuffle the deck. And we'll go ahead and draw our 7. So a handful of 7 personnel is actually pretty decent for this deck. It would have been nice to potentially draw one of our What Does God Need with a Starship or Secret Sabotage. but that's okay. We don't want our awaiting trials right away. We download our revolutionaries out of the draw deck. Catching a ready room door is it's a 1 out of 50, so it's unlikely that we get it. And then we have our 2 ships. So 7 personnel is okay. We would have liked to have gotten either one of the ships or the ready room door, but it's not really that big of a deal. So what we do though is on the very first turn is we want to play a geology personnel. So if any of our personnel have a geology in our opening hand, that's who we want to play. We did catch Bronok, so we would free play Bronok. And then our card play is we don't want to download any personnel, so we're not going to download revolutionaries, so we're just going to get our ship right away. And then we can discard Defend Homeworld, and we can grab, we'll grab Overseer Odo. He's going to special download Process or Mining directly onto the planet. And then, to be perfectly honest, we are okay with that. Start a turn, we probably we would have probably just went ahead and passed the gold to our opponent, because we just don't want to face any random selections or anything like that. So that's kind of the engine of this deck is we're just playing personnel out once for free with the incident itself, and then we have a card play, which is either just to play something out of hand or we download revolutionaries to go get them. On turn 1 though, we went Overseer Odo. So basically turns 2, 3, 4, that's when we're downloading personnel with revolutionaries. But we're passing the gold so that we can kind of also further make our dilemmas good. So we have 22 dilemmas, we're bumping that up with the downloads, we have the Q Flash. The gold further extends that defense. So what it says is once every turn, when your personnel is eligible for a random selection, you may ask, where's the vault? To pass this card to an opponent. They have control of it. If you do not, selections are instead opponent's choice. What that means is that if the opponent, when they're faced with a random selection, or if they pass on it at the start of the turn, and then they also pass on it the moment there is a random selection, they're stuck with it. They don't, because it's just once every turn. When one of your when this trigger occurs, you can pass it to the opponent. If you do not, you're stuck with it, and then random selections are now the opponent's choice. So we have dilemmas that are doing that. We have quite a few dilemmas that are doing that. We have persistent individuality would randomly select kills. Well, they become choice kills. We have T'Pol has some issues. It'll become like you get to put this on somebody. Galaxy is impure. We'll get to choose someone to die. These random selections are not just dilemmas though either, and this is where it gets even more fun. It's any random selection. So say we flip with our Battle Bridge side deck, and we flip over, let's say, phase cannons. Well, phase cannons is randomly kill one personnel. Well, with gold, if they have gold in front of them, that's going to be a choice kill. So it really puts pressure on our opponent if we're choice killing all the time, and it's really motivating our opponent to just want to pass this back. Because when they face something that's going to make them make this decision, they don't know what's coming after that, and they don't necessarily know what we're targeting. And so early in the game, the first couple of times that we give them the gold, there's going to be a lot of motivation for them to give it back to us. Now, here's the thing. If they never give it back to us, that's fine too. We can 3-mission win. It's not a problem. We're relying on our dilemmas to try to hold up. Since we're playing with so many of them, and they're giving us choice kills, them coming up with the skills they need to pass our walls later in the game get very difficult for them. So we're okay if they never give us the gold back. The caveat to that is if our opponent appears to be like on a 2-mission win and just giving them like 5 points or 10 points might be the difference. If they pass us the gold back the very first time, we'll just keep it and we'll just suffer through it ourselves. Okay, but realistically, we can pass that gold 2 times, maybe even 3 times. And that would give us 10 points or even 15 points. When you combine that with the fact that we're going to solve resist occupying force for 40, and then we're going to solve one of our space missions for 35. That goes 40, and then 75, and say 85, and then we just need 15 points. And when somebody dies, we're going to valuable prisoner them, and then we're going to put them in a labor camp, and then we're just going to need 3 turns to score 5 points. So we can 2-mission win with this deck. So back to the game. We've passed them gold at the start of turn, we've done our stuff, and then we go to end of turn, and we're just going to draw a card. He's not downloadable, so that's a good one for us to get. All right, turn 2. Opponent has their turn 2. We have our turn 2. We're going to just go ahead and we have multiple Disics in hand. So we're gonna. Oh, sorry. Start of turn. We're going to process ore. We have 2 geology personnel here. We have multiple Disics. I think we're okay losing one. This is some more bonus points that we're going to accumulate. So we'll score 1 point. And we'll draw 2 because we have 2 geology present. That's pretty cool. So we'll just go ahead and free play Mason, and then we're going to card play a download of Revolutionaries because that will thin our deck out. So we're going to grab Chabin as 1 dissident, and we're going to grab Hogue as another dissident. Alright, there's nothing else we want to do necessarily. This deck moves just pretty straightforward, because there's going to be a lot of like our opponent trying to slog through our stuff. We want to just kind of move quickly with this deck. We don't want our turns to necessarily be long. You want to just kind of do your thing and pass the turn and be okay with that. So the end of turn, we'll just go ahead and draw. Okay. Opponent has their 3rd turn, and they get to this point where they have these people here at Earth. They've got their historical research. They get that up and going, with the duck blind, and they sent their people to the past. And then it passes to our 3rd turn. We're just going to pitch an awaiting trial. And draw 2. We're going to free play. We're going to free play Odo, and then we're going to card play another download of a Revolutionaries. And we're going to download a Belva, and we're going to download. Let's download another Bronak. He is a dissident, I believe. Yep. We're going to get them a Hidden Fighter, so we're going to download the Hideki Cruiser along with the established landing protocols. Yeah, cool. All right, so we will then just go ahead. We're just going to have Overseer Odo and this Bronak are just going to simply take. Now they're just going to simply walk on board the Hideki Cruiser. And then we're just going to have this group of idiots attempt the mission. We just want to see what that first dilemma is there. None of these people really matter individually. Remat Detonator. Well, we do not have 2 transporter skill. Okay. So the opponent's going to probably get to kill someone of their choice at some point. But we got one dilemma out of the way. We can then just simply have Bronok and Overseer Odo walk back onto the planet for next turn. Okay, and then we just draw at the end of turn. And that's pretty good if we need it, depending on what the opponent does. Alright, so we get to turn 4 and we go to the opponent's turn. So they're going to start off by just going and discarding assigned mission specialists, getting it back, playing it as their card play. And they want to get let's say Leah Brahms, and they want to get Riva. They will draw a card from continuing mission. Cool. They're going to free play Montgomery Scott with USS Enterprise, and then they're going to do nothing else because they can't. They're going to bring Data and Picard back to the present. They're going to draw 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and they just get a bunch of nonsense, although Tate will play for free next turn. On turn 3, the other thing they did was they attempted with these two just to see what was there, because it looks like it was just a 2-card combo, so there was a good chance it was just a dead end they could just bounce off of to verify it, and that's exactly what happened. So they're just not going to do this mission until we can do anything else. Not much else we want to do other than the fact that now we have another human engineer here at Earth. We do still have a captain there, but we don't have a ship to go get those people. We do not have a ship to go get those people, but I don't know that it matters too much. We just have to just push through dilemmas because there are so many. And the other thing to keep in mind is that this deck maybe wants to just do this mission over here, historical research, and just not do either of these planets. And so we're just not going to do anything else on this turn other than, because we don't have the ability to staff the nebula, and then next turn we're just going to like drop some ships out, you know? So everything's cool. So we'll just go to end of turn and we're just going to draw a card. We'll convert it to a download of a civilian if we have any. I don't think that we do. Security, science, engineer officers. Yeah. Since there is no valid target, there is no download. So we just draw the card. All right. And then we go to turn 4 for the Cardassian deck. Let's free play Ari, and then we will once again download Revolutionaries. Oh, the other thing we were going to do is we were going to process ore mining, of course. Again, these awaiting trials are not doing much for us. So let's put this Revolutionaries back in the deck here and just draw 2. Yeah, it doesn't change anything that we did. So then, yeah, we'll just go ahead now. We'll say we downloaded the Revolutionaries. And we will get a couple of dissidents. He's not, but we get Tatum. And we can get, I think, let's grab let's just grab this other Chiban. All right. We are playing with OG Tent. We could just attempt with one. Opponent isn't showing that they can stop us with the villagers or anything like that. So we're just gonna put everybody except for like one random loser is just gonna go on the Hideki Cruiser, and we're just gonna have Bronock attempt by himself. Okay, his opponent's dead end. That's fine. We're going to leave Overseer Odo behind. We'll leave Overseer Odo behind to sit there with Bronock on the next turn. And we're going to just take the stolen attack ship. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's probably one too many. We're going to protect... let's see here. Leadership and nav. We want to protect leadership and nav. Everything else is just kind of whatever, because we have leadership on Overseer Odo. We're just going to protect a Chabin for no reason, that he's just got nav. Everybody else is more or less expendable. I'm not worried about science, because we can always download another Hogue, and we got Hogue in hand. And then just a question of which of these two missions do we think is going to be necessarily easier. It's just 3-card combos under each. Chances are, if there's a Cytherians combo, it probably would be under a Vageborg Vessel. So we're going to go, we'll just go to here, and we'll attempt Covert Incursion with these people. Persistent Individuality. Okay, well, this was probably going to hurt. So, Civilian, Security, Medical, Engineer, Officer, VIP, 1, 2, 3, and then just Civilians and Medical, which we already have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so they're just going to kill 1. And we're going to shuffle, leave the one on the most left. Odo dies like a punk. But I don't think we have any engineer. Yep, oh, sorry. We still have the engineer here with Bronock. So we beat a Persistent Individuality. Opponent has not passed us the gold back yet, because they didn't really necessarily have a reason to do so. Otherwise, they would have been able to just straight up kill our one engineer and stop us. So again, that would have been the power of gold with Persistent Individuality. Go to the next dilemma, and it's the Temptations of the Flesh. We have one objective in play, process or mining. Opponent has one. 2 here. If they were smart, they would have had a third one with downloading HQ Secure Homeworld, which they would have done. So let's say that we have 1 and they've got 3. So it's going to be a stop 4. So it'll be just the 4 on the left and the 3 on the right will continue. Okay. And then I don't have a command star. Period. Because they killed it. Totally at random. So, Temptations of the Flesh goes back underneath. So, seeing that, our concern is that it's... Our leading candidates are Cloud, V'ger, Friendly Fire. With the Temptations of the Flesh in front of this. They do have the ability to seed AU Dilemma, so V'ger is definitely a possibility. Cloud's obviously super popular with a filter in front of it. Friendly Fire is a popular one when there's a filter, a random filter in front of it, because it's hard to play around. So yeah, we just need to get through that. And then once we get through that, we can just take the damage, so to speak. So, all right, nothing else that we want to do, so we will just go ahead and draw to end the turn. Turn 5 for the opponent. So they are going to free play a data as the USS Enterprise, or Commander data. They're going to free play a Tate, and they're going to draw a card. And then they're going to card play the USS Enterprise, and it's going to download Wall of Ships. The Wall of Ships will just download the Future Enterprise as well. We're going to download it, though, to Earth. No other free plays. We did not draw any of the science things. Okay, so we're going to have... we're going to go into mission solving mode here. So let's just go ahead and have Commander Troy come to the present and draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's pretty good. She also has the command star and stuff like that, so we can just have her and Data and Picard load up onto the Nebula, and they got to start making the trip back. So they're gonna fly 2, 4, 7. Don't have 10, so they can fly all the way back to here. And then we're just gonna go ahead. We have to basically solve host metaphasic shield test and then combine that with historical research. Otherwise, we're going to be in 3 missions. We do have 5 points here from the gold, but we need to just start pushing through here as best we can. We have a Tate and a Data, and we also got, I guess, Montgomery Scott that we can kind of put at risk right now. Although I don't really see much of a reason to do anything other than just it's like send in 1 guy, because they can't stop us from just micro attempting. So we'll just do that. We'll just undock the USS Enterprise with Tate, and Tate's just going to attempt by herself. And then she hits Q, enter the supernova, the lowest attribute 7. So she's going to face a 7-ball Q flash. All right, so there's one, and it is Quandary. Restore 1 personnel from discard pile. There may not be a version of the same persona in play. And then shuffle to the crew or away team. And then it's a 50-50 shot. I don't think there is anyone in the discard pile. So then that just whiffs. And then shuffle to... okay, so let's reread this. Restore 1 personnel from your discard pile. There may not be a version of the same persona in play, and shuffle into crew or team. Opponent then selects 1 personnel. If it is not the restored personnel, discard it and lose points. So I read this, and I leave it in the comments if you disagree with this interpretation. You don't. It's not a do one and then to do the other. It's do this thing and then do this other thing. So there's only 1 personnel, and it cannot be the restored personnel because we didn't restore a personnel. And so I don't know that this is one of those, like, it fails for no target. So I think this is just an automatic lose. So if I'm playing that correctly, it's just an automatic, like, take a 5-point loss. That's how we're going to play it. Alright. Another quandary, that's a duplicate, so it nothing happens. Mandarin Bailiff, would you like to let me take Tate as a captive or transfer 2 points? Well, we're not going to transfer 2 points because we don't want to lose points. We just lost 5 points already. This is again where if they would have the choice to pass the gold if this was a you know, random selection type of a thing. But it also would have been on the quandary. Because they would have passed on the quandary, then they lose the ability to pass the gold after that. So Mandarin Bailiff is would have been an our choice. But since there's only Tate, so be it. If we transfer 2 points, that might throw us off because we're already down 5, but we're still even with gold right now. And we really want a 2-mission win. We like really want a 2-mission win. No one's in the discard pile yet for us to get back with. So we're just gonna let them take the captive, and that'll actually just end the. That will just end the that'll end the flash because there's no one else left to face it. So it was just a 2-card flash, and then that's it. I have to remember my rules on Q Flash here. I forget if the rest of the flash still takes place even if there's no one. So let's check the rule book real fast. If you have no open queues, if the entire crew or team is killed, captured, or continue to draw remaining queue cards, but discard queue dilemmas without effect. Okay, so we have to keep going. It's very good. It's very good. It's very educational for us here. So we still have. We've done 1, 2, 3. We still have 4 to go. That's a queue dilemma. That's a queue dilemma. This is a queue interrupt, so I will not promise. Well, perfect. Perfect. Opponent may end the current queue flash and then immediately seed this interrupt between any other mission, like a dual mission, like it's a dual dilemma. And then if encountered beneath a mission, crew or team must have a queue flash with 3 queue cards. We want to shore up over here, and so we're just going to do that. We're just going to seed this underneath here. So that we've just now, I mean, if they're gonna make a pseudo punt this flash, then we're going to do that to them. All right, and again, these go to the top of the queue flash until we have to shuffle. All right, so we have a captive. It's being held with a trap card. So on our turn, we're going to play the awaiting trial and start drawing. But that's that. This queue flash occurred. Let's just simply go ahead and remove it. And then that's it. All right, so Tate's gone. The ship is stopped from a... Ship is not stopped. There was never an unless that occurred. So the ship is still available. We're going to just go ahead and have Commander Data beam on board, and he's going to attempt. And then there's persistent individuality. So opponent's not going to pass the gold because they don't care about this random selection. So he's just going to just die. We're going to flip Valuable Prisoner, and we're going to just go ahead and take him. That will discard. We will download. Whoops, that's the wrong discard pile. goes to this discard pile, and we're going to download the labor camp. And Commander Data is going to be our prisoner on the planet. And then the persistent individuality is going to go back underneath. So now we're going to force them to send a bunch of people in. No more red shirting. So we're no longer concerned about Tate. She's being held by the trap card, so she cannot be released. So we've got our prisoner. We've got our captive. He's on our planet. He's with us now. So, and we now have our labor camp going. And that's going to allow us to score points immediately. So that's pretty cool. All right, so opponent doesn't really have anything else that they want to do. They still are probably going to stick to this plan over here, even knowing what's going on. The ship is not staffable with who's here. And there is no human engineer that has not probed, because Wesley already did, and Sergei and Helena already did. So yeah, this deck will just simply go to its end of turn, and it'll draw a card. Also pretty good. Okay. Turn 5 for our deck. So we're just going to free play an awaiting trial because we can. We're going to free play this Command Star personnel. We're going to, I think, just do one more Revolutionaries here. Yep, we have two more Revolutions in the deck, but I don't know how many more people who are targetable downloads with it. We have Ari in the deck. Vornar is not targetable. Belva is targetable, I suppose. So we're going to just download Belva and download Ari. So we got a Hideki class cruiser here. We're going to, we also, once again, we forgot to do ore processing and score 5 points. So so we score 6. We also missed one from the previous turn. So we're at 9 points right now. And we would have just simply pitched the Secret Sabotage to draw. That's fine. Take off with the Hideki cruiser. We would fly to here with our Disick, and well, yeah, let's take Overseer Odo. Yeah, we got to take them both because we just got to up the chances of having. Let's take an Ari with us as well. We're just gonna leave the Bronok behind. He is then escorting. So he's escorting the captive, and he's also our geology, so we can still score points with process or mining. I don't really want to send these two in. I don't want to send too many people in. So Hideki Cruiser is going to fly over. We're going to add these guys in the mix. We will reattempt, shuffle, these 4 continue, and we once again get stopped. Actually, take that back. The other thing we wanted to do, got ahead of myself, is we want to have Hogue? No. One of our copies of Ari is going to take the stolen attack ship to here. Because we maybe want to like pick up Tate, but we also want to just keep our options open for our secret sabotage in hand. So then we attempt, and then we'll just say we still got stopped. So that's unfortunate. We could have Ari just attempt this mission just to see what that first dilemma is. So let's just have him do that. And rules of obedience, and he'll just die. Fine by me. Okay, and then we'll just draw 2 to end the turn. That's pretty good. It's another command star for us. And then we'll pass to the opponent. They're going to go USS Enterprise for free, and then a Universal for free, and that draws them a card. That's really good. Then a Scientific Diplomacy for free, and Deanna Troy is the card play. No. Discarding the AMS and getting it back and downloading 2 mission specialists as the card play. So we still need navigation and science. All right, so USS Nebula can fly to here and pick up all of these people. This still cannot staff the future Enterprise, but it can go 3, 4, 5. Well, it can go to here, and then the actual Enterprise can just fly to here, pick them up, and fly back. We're just going to have the Nebula be stranded for the moment. And we're going to take a look at what we have here. So what we want to do is just beat a persistent individuality without any of our mission specialists. Because we have the ones we need to solve with now, so everybody else is expendable. Also, knowing that, we may just want to just try to bust in with everybody and just see what happens here, you know? VIP, civilian, engineer, security, science. We do not have medical. Medical is what we don't have. We do have multiple engineers. I think. No, I think we only have. No, we have 2. We have 2 engineers, 3 engineers, 4 engineers. So if we let them choose what they kill, but the thing is, though, is that may set them up for whatever it is that's coming behind it. So I think we'll just attempt, and we're just going to pass the gold, and we'll take the 1 random kill, and then just hope that they just don't get lucky. So we're going to send in everybody on board the USS Enterprise. We'll face this. We're going to pass the gold. It's now been passed twice. and is worth 10 points. So just randomly kill somebody. Roll Laren dies. We have an engineer, so we continue. Alright. Yeah, we don't have the medical. Of all of the random things, we have a medical. 2 medical, 2 engineer, 2 astro. Like, we even have the double astro. It's crazy. Double engineer, double astro. We just don't have double medical of all the random things. And we don't have it anywhere. So if we wanted to push through, we're just boned in that way. So no medis. All right, so double hit from the cloud, and everyone's gonna stop for another full turn. So cool, we get to see what randomly happens with the Battle Bridge side deck. It's been shuffled, so 1 is a random kill, 2 is a random kill. They passed the gold, so we don't get to choose. So yeah, these 2 are gonna die. The ship is stopped until the end of next turn. So now if they want to attempt again, they are going to have a different ship come and do it for them, because of the nebula was left floating. We'll have Baron come to the future, and we're going to draw 4 cards. There's medical. Okay. And then end of turn, just going to draw a card. Oh wait, we just found a holodeck door, so let's play holodeck door. Because we haven't, oh we did, we downloaded Specialist this turn. Never mind. We downloaded Specialist this turn. So yeah, we'll just take the card draw. Cool. That's pretty good. Alright, start of our turn, we're going to score another 5 points. And we are going to process ore. It's not looking like our Secret Sabotage is going to get anywhere. So we're at our plus 15. So let's go with play him for free. Oh, the other thing, I just realized this, so I'm going to back this up for a moment. Is that Ari would not have taken the stolen attack ship to here. Ari would have taken the stolen attack ship back, because the Hideki cruiser cannot go. It cannot go back to this mission. Oh, yes it can. Never mind. We're gonna stick with it then. We're gonna stick with that being the way it is. Sorry, I thought this was a 4-span mission. So, all right. So, so we play Seskal for free, and then we will play Quark as our card play, and he can download Natima Lang. She's not in the deck. She is in here. So we're going to have the Hideki cruiser. But again, I mean, if I was being smart, I probably would have still just had the stolen attack ship go back, because in case we wanted to like solve and come back in the same turn, we would need to do that. So yeah, for purposes of testing, we would be smarter about this. We would have just had Ari have the attack ship go back, so that we have a lot more flexibility with moving ships around. That would have been the decision that I would have made in like an actual like tournament setting, because getting her or try to secret sabotage the opponent, highly unlikely that I'm ever going to like pull that off. So we would have just moved the stolen attack ship back with Ari, so that we would have flexibility with ship movement. So we're going to fly the stolen attack ship over. We're just... our opponent is definitively making progress now. We know that they're going to beat our last dilemma, and they're going to have possibly the option to go all the way down to here. They are going to be in timeout for a single turn, so we have bought ourselves like a single turn, but I'm just not liking our odds. If it's a V'ger, we need to have Anthro computer skill diplomacy, and we have a computer skill and an anthropology, and here's a computer skill. And here's another anthropology. We finally have a diplomacy. So we're like riding on, if it's V'ger, that we don't get smacked by... We're riding everything on not getting smacked by V'ger. Yeah, because we lost a diplomacy personal back here with Odo. And Elam Garrick is in hand. So, yeah. Yeah, we're just going to send everybody. We're just going to YOLO it. We're going to YOLO it on the Hideki Cruiser. Cool. So those 4 people stop. And then, yes, we have a command star with Overseer Odo. And it's a friendly fire. Wow. Okay, so... let's get these 4 people out of here. Leadership, security, and security. It's crazy. So it actually worked out just sending all those people. Oh wait, this is our hand. What am I doing? I got confused. Holy cow, dude. All these people were supposed to be here. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm getting all discombobulated, moving stuff around and thinking, yeah, these are the people who were in my hand. These are the people who were on board the ship. So let's try this again. So these 4 people stop. And it's still the same thing. We still have leadership, security, security. So it worked out. And then we solve the mission because we have leadership and navigation and science. And then cutting of everybody. Score 35. Gets us to the 50 that we need. I mean, it gives us more than that because actually we have 10 points from gold that we're not counting yet. Because we've scored 10 from labor camp. Yeah. That should have been moved to here. Yeah, we've done, because we're on turn 6, we've done 5 turns of, that for 5 points, and we've done 2 instances of labor camp for 15, and we have covert incursion for 35, so that gets us to the 50. Well, it's, yeah, 50, and then we have 10 from this, so we're actually technically at 60 right now. And we're not going to give this up now, because we're now like literally on it. So we're like literally, once we solve resist occupying forces, we win. So we literally just have to beat whatever the last dilemma is. So we will just fly the Hideki cruise. Well, yeah, because no, still an attack ship can go. So we're going to leave the Hideki cruiser with those 4 people on it, and we're going to just take the stolen attack ship back. We can take both, actually, because we can just beam somebody over. So we're going to take both of these back. We will have Bronok. I mean, let's just get this out of the way for right now. And we have, yeah, 1 dilemma left to face. I mean, there's no reason not to just like send everybody. I mean, there's like a random chance. There's like a random chance it's like a Jolie Chu. We do have an extra Ari that we could just put on the stolen attack ship just to protect against the Jolie Chu, and then that's really the only thing we would need to do. So then we'll just attempt with all these other people on the planet. Oh, okay. Kills a security who is most dots. I mean, it's these 2. They would, of course, kill Overseer Odo, because why wouldn't they? But then we have 6 universals. Like, they're not stopping us on security. We have so many universals, so. And then we need to have Kira and Legate Demar. We don't have that. Officer times 3, honor times 3. Officer 1, we would be able to beam him down as Officer 2, but we don't have a 3rd officer. But he has honor. 2 Aries have honor, and we have Tatum with honor, and we also have Hogue with honor. They were not stopping us on honor. It just happens to work out that they stopped multiple officers back over here. So even though they gave up this mission, it is the only thing that kept them from losing on that turn. So the opponent's going to have to basically like swing for the fences, and that's probably just not going to happen. We also, like I said, we have the officers back here to solve with on the next turn. So that's just simply how it's going to go. We would just simply pass the turn and draw 2. Yeah. Could have used this literally a moment ago. Although the opponent never lets us unstop a ship. They just let us download a ship in that situation. On the opponent's turn, they don't know what that last dilemma is. They would go most likely let's play a scientific diplomacy for free, USS Enterprise for free, and draw a card. Yeah, I went Universal for free, Scientific Diplomacy for free. I did not do USS Enterprise yet. Because he's Universal. No, we don't have a USS Enterprise person. Nor do we have a different Universal. Play the Catherine Pulaski as the card play. And then, yes, we'll just go ahead and do a holodeck door, see if there is anyone left. I think... Oops. Yeah, we have Admiral Picard you can download. But the problem is there is no ship. So I suppose card play would not be Catherine Pulaski. Card play would be the ship to even take a stab at it. So then this ship, basically, I mean, you lose on the next turn anyway, so protecting the mission specialist is no longer an option. You just have to go and hope. So they would attempt, and it is a scientific method. 2 science, 3 science, but no medical. Once again, medical is the problem. So they stop, they're unable to pass it. Once again, taking Tate, that's a problem. Well, I suppose he doesn't have medical, but... yeah. They stop, there's nothing else that they can do. They would just simply draw at the end of turn, and then play would pass. We'd score 5 points, and then we just simply beam down the officers to attempt, and we solve it for 40. And then that would be game. So yeah, all that needed to happen was to have the gold. I mean, here's the thing. We scored the 5 points anyway, so opponent would have potentially gotten like 1 more turn to do anything. But they would not have had the range to go all the way down here to historical research. I'm not quite sure if they would have had staffing for the future Enterprise. They need 3 AUs. And there was 2 AUs in play. Yeah. Because Commander Riker was still on the deck. So, yeah. Even if they would have been able to run everybody down, let's just assume for a moment that they had like literally everybody available, and they could have attempted to do that. They are down the 5 points here, so they have to solve with their anthropology personnel now, because gold is not coming back to them. So in that situation, yeah, you literally just run down and attempt with everybody. And so it's going to be a Q flash of 3 cards. Let's say that they were able to take, you know, let's just assume that they could bring the future Enterprise. Who cares? It doesn't matter. This is hypothetical anyway. You have all these people and you attempt and you take a Q flash of 3 cards. First one's a penalty box. Penalty box, a rhetorical question, and a fighting words. So, penalty box is Herbert. Rhetorical question would go on to the ship. And so if they don't solve this turn, they would have never had another turn to even to solve, basically. And then following that is the Fighting Words, which is now reducing them to they lose their first 2 listed skills. That hits a lot. Basically, they could no longer win because they would have Darian Wallace would lose his anthropology, so they wouldn't be able to solve with a mission specialist. And then Pawns of the Military would have come in, and we would have been able to go into our Dyson Sphere here, grab a couple of virus-related cards. We know they've been struggling with medicals, so obviously we take a Harvester virus. And then we pull in a Vengeance Factor, I think, so we can just keep throwing more stuff at them. Because they need to have double science and medical to be able to beat a microvirus, and then we'll be able to choose someone to die. So, so maybe instead of the Harvester virus, okay, because with Vengeance Factor, we get to bring in Yuta, and we get to bring in microvirus. Yeah, it would have been very difficult because microvirus gatherers in Yuta. Yeah. Unless 2 science, medical, and security, which they probably have all those things. Now, maybe instead of like, okay, so downloading 2 virus-related cards, I think maybe, I kind of rethink that maybe, I mean, we know that they have plenty of engineers, but they would need to get medical through, but yeah, maybe they would have, but they're also losing all of their skills. So it's also possible they don't get through physics. So I think maybe we just go nanobiogenic fugitives and yeah, nanobiogenic fugitives, and then we would have gone with Vengeance Factor, and then Vengeance Factor would have grabbed, you know, Yuta and microvirus, and we would have just Yuta would have tried to pick somebody out. If we just did some thinking. Thing is, though, is that we know that they're only medical in play. Oh, Yuta numbers are tough. Yeah. Because Gatherers is only going to take... Because they're going to have integrity greater than 36. Because that's the thing. You grab Gatherers when they don't have integrity greater than 36, because then Gatherers just stops them. But since they would have sent everybody... Huh. Yeah. I don't think they get through. So let's just look. Let's look purely on the nanobiogenic fugitives. They would need to have... They would need to be able to stop 2 engineers. That's not a problem. Because they could have stopped Leia Brahms. And they would have been able to stop any other engineers that don't have it as their first 2 listed. Oh, yeah. I think Wesley Crusher is the only other one who qualifies. Yeah, so Admiral McCoy's Yuta number 1415 is integrity plus cunning minus strength. So his Yuta number is lucky 13. So that's very appropriate because that's who we would have tried to target. But he loses that medical anyway. So they literally cannot get past the microvirus anyway. I just noticed that. Can't get past the microvirus because he loses his medical from oof, from Fighting Words. So there you go. They would not. First off, they don't get past microvirus, and then with nanobiogenic fugitives, let's even assume that they can get past microvirus. As far as engineers are concerned, he doesn't qualify because he loses it, and Data loses his. Which means all they could do is, if they wanted to try to get physics through, is they have to stop Leia Brahms and Wesley Crusher. And then the only physics in play, the only physics in play is Lieutenant Ballard, and she's lost it. Wait, Joe Brill would have gotten through. But they still need to have 2 computer skill. He loses it. He loses his. And Data and Picard just have his. And Wesley would have lost his. They still would have failed. Even though they would have gotten Joe Brill through. Yep, still would have failed. So they fail on both the microvirus and the nanobiogenic fugitives. Even with all these people. So that should tell you right there just exactly how strong this can be together. That Q flashes along with all these dilemmas coming in with pawns of the military. That's a pretty strong combination. Now obviously the fact that the opponent actually wanted to go all the way down the space line here to get to this planet mission to just try to face 2 dilemmas, that's something to be concerned about. It was just, yeah. So it's also possible that maybe a person wants to try to identify another weak mission and pull a dilemma from that one over to this one, so they're not doing a 2 card dilemma combo. But yeah, Fighting Words is still good. Oh, it's only people who lose, people with 3 or more. Oh yeah, so yeah, McCoy loses his medical, so they don't get through the microvirus. I apologize, guys. It's been so long since I've thought about Fighting Words. They have to have 3 or more icons. So she kept her physics, and that would have been another one that they could use to get through on the physics side. But again, McCoy loses his medical because he has 3 or more dots. So again, they still just don't get past the microvirus. Has 3 or more, he would have had his computer skill. But he has 3 or more dots, so he loses his. Has 3 or more dots, loses his. Okay, cool. Yeah, still the same result, even when we read the Fighting Words correctly. So, alright. So that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you stuck with me all the way here to the end, again, I thank you as a good friend for sticking with it all the way to the end of the video to see how it played out. It does actually end up being a pretty close game, but a lot of it being close is the simple fact that this deck here, this Fed deck, is playing with its own short span missions, that if you stick a dead end all the way on the end from where they want to go, or if you have an opponent that has say 4 of a mission type, you could stick that 2-card combo under the one that's farthest away from them where you think they're going to start. Yeah, so yeah, so that's the deck. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, as I said earlier in the video. Hit that notification bell and be on the lookout for my next videos. We are getting close to spring, so at some point I will be kind of switching over to you know, maybe not putting videos out every single week, but we'll see what I can do for you. But alright guys, thanks so much for watching, and may the profits be with you. And vive la resistance.